When Luo Feng was concentrating on his cultivation, the Ancestor Yuan suddenly contacted Luo Feng. Ancestor Yuan. Luo Feng knew the character of the Ancestor Yuan. He would not disturb his practice unless it was something important, so he went to see him immediately. Luo Feng. Ancestor Yuan was sitting in the pavilion. When he saw Luo Feng coming, he immediately smiled and poured wine for him. Come, drink. Ancestor Yuan, are you in a good mood? Luo Feng also noticed it. Ha ha ha. I have finally comprehended the foundation of the great Tao, so I am naturally happy, said the Ancestor Yuan. Have you figured out the law of chaos? Luo Feng was surprised and happy. The Ancestor Yuan nodded. Fortunately, with the massive resources you gave me and the many inheritances of the Heart Shadow sect as sustenance, I was able to cultivate so smoothly. Otherwise, it would have taken 10 times as long and 100 times as long. Those confiscated from Heart Shadow sect seemed like a lot at the time, but Luo Feng received 300 billion cosmic sands from the desolate Wind City Lord in one go, and that little bit of resources in the past was not worth mentioning. But those resources, for an eternal true god to use recklessly, were still too extravagant. Luo Feng himself was poor when he was an eternal true god. You have reached the Chaos Realm in over 100 epochs, and you even created your own method. Luo Feng exclaimed, Ancestor Yuan, your fully hope of reaching the God King realm, God King, can be too much harder than the Chaos Realm. Ancestor Yuan laughed. The path has to be taken step by step. I'm still a long way off today. Luo Feng knew it very well. He himself had become a Chaos Realm in over 30 epochs, but he was also aided by the chance of facing the great Tao of life origin. The Ancestor Yua became Chaos Realm in more than 100 epochs, even if the inheritance and resources were enough. This speed was still shocking. The Ancestor Yuan, at the True God stage, was able to comprehend the amazing secret technique of the virtual universe and become the strongest person in the area surrounding the primordial universe. He is truly talented. Luo Feng had long realized the Ancestor Yuan's high talent, but after coming to the origin continent and providing him with sufficient resources, the Ancestor Yuan began to shine his light. Luo Feng was also very happy. If the human race only had himself as the pillar, the pressure of operating in the origin continent would be quite great. With the help of the equally talented Ancestor Yuan, Luo Feng would be able to relax a lot. You should break through your miniature universe as soon as possible and transform your divine body. Luo Feng said, also take this opportunity to study carefully which great Tao is most suitable for you. I am very interested in the great Tao of origin world origins. Said the Ancestor Yuan. World. Luo Feng understood. Strictly speaking, the path that the Ancestor Yuan took was the virtual world. The virtual world continued upwards and could go deeper into the direction of the soul. However, there is no clear path for the soul, and everything needs to be realized by oneself. The virtual world can also extend towards the origin of the world. For example, thunder. The great Tao of infinite origin contained the use of thunder, flame, wind, earth, and many other energies. But thunder could likewise lead to a complete, great Tao of thunder origin. The starting point is the same, but the end point may be completely different. During the time when I was suppressed by the primordial universe, I gained a deep understanding of the various forms of life and the operation of all things, and I was very interested in them. This path in the world is very suitable for me, said the Ancestor Yuan. He likes the virtual world and the real world equally. There is so much he can study on this path. Only the path you like the most and are most interested in can help you go far enough. Luo Feng agreed. On that day, the primordial universe area of his homeworld, a huge miniature universe expanded again. This is the miniature universe of the Yuan. Yuan's miniature universe is expanding again? The Ancestor Yuan's breakthrough was also so fast. The true gods of various races and the universe masters came closer and watched from afar that the huge miniature universe was expanding again. The strong men of the human race were even more excited. The human race had the Milky Way ancestor, who was absolutely the strongest in the surrounding universe. That miniature universe was trillions light years in diameter. Just seeing that huge miniature universe made other races lose any fighting spirit. And now, the miniature universe, the Ancestor Yuan, which is second only to the Milky Way ancestor, has also exploded. Teacher is about to break through. Primal Chaos City Lord looked at this scene with joy, and looked at Luo Feng beside him. Luo Feng, when can we go to break through the reincarnation? The Primal Chaos City Lord could have become the true god of the void long ago, but he has been suppressed and has not made a breakthrough. Now, watching his disciple Luo Feng reach a miniature universe with a diameter of trillions light years, and seeing his teacher Ancestor Yuan making breakthroughs one after another, Primal Chaos City Lord was also a little itchy. At the other end of the reincarnation, there are powerful people like clouds, and it is unfathomable. Luo Feng said, you should practice patiently in the primordial universe area. I estimate that you can set off before this reincarnation era. One cycle of the primordial universe lasts about 10,000 epochs on the origin continent. Luo Feng estimated that after such a long time, he should be able to deal with the Tian Kuan Kingdom Lord. Even if he couldn't, he should be able to protect the strong people of the human race and come to the origin continent. Okay. The Primal Chaos City Lord smiled and nodded. In fact, we are in the primordial universe area, and our cultivation progress is very slow now. I know. Luo Feng nodded. Although it is difficult to practice in the primordial universe, the harder it is, the better it is for you. It will be of greater help in the future. Once you have adapted to practicing in harsh environments, your efficiency will naturally be much higher when you go to an environment like the origin continent. The Primal Chaos City Lord nodded. Luo Feng and Ancestor Yuan had been preventing the powerful humans from entering the reincarnation cycle, asking them to wait patiently. This showed that Luo Feng and Ancestor Yuan were not completely sure about the situation on the other side. The capital of Chu, the mansion of Lord Chu Yu. Brother Chu Yu. Luo Feng transmitted the message from a distance. Di Chu Yu looked up and saw Luo Feng in the distance. He smiled and said, Brother Luo He. Luo Feng then took a step and landed in the Lord's mansion. Brother Luo He, it's rare for you to come to me. Di Chu Yu's demeanor was much more relaxed. After all, relying on the huge resources of the heaven-level mission, after hundreds of epochs, he had already reached the peak strength of the Chaos Realm. After all, he has an infinite divine body, so it is not difficult for it to reach such strength, but there is still some gap between his realm and the bottleneck. But with enough strength and the powerful guest, Great Sage Luo He, Di Chu Yu naturally had smooth sailing. Other first-class lords of the imperial family would not be stupid enough to fight him. There is indeed something that needs Brother Chu Yu's help, Luo Feng said directly. Oh. Di Chu Yu's eyes lit up. That's good. As Luo He became stronger, it stood to reason that the opportunities for him, a first-class lord of the imperial family, to help him would become fewer and fewer. It's like this, my fellow tribeman, Yuan, has already reached the Chaos Realm. Luo Feng said, I want a guest official slot in the Flame Wind Ancient Kingdom. Guest official slot? Di Chu Yu frowned slightly, so he is a newcomer to the Chaos Realm, right? Is he from the Law's Path? The Law Path. Luo Feng nodded. The Chaos Realm of the Law Path is the minimum threshold for recruiting guest officials. Barely reaching the minimum threshold. It's not like he's an infinite divine body. Di Chu Yu shook his head gently. Any first-class marquis of the imperial family who wants to invite a guest official, I'm afraid they won't be able to spare the quota on him. The imperial family is very cautious about the number of guest officials for the first-class lords, because this is their most important support. I don't know much about the internal workings of the imperial family, so I came to ask you. Luo Feng said. After the Yuan became a Chaos Realm, if he wanted to grow, he would first need the most suitable inheritance and resources for himself. At most, he could find a way to get one or two Great Tao of World Origin, God King level inheritances, which might not be suitable for Yuan. The best way is to let Yuan become a guest official of the Flame Wind Ancient Kingdom. Then, he can choose from the many inheritances in the Inheritance Hall. It must be recognized. The guest official system of the two ancient kingdoms is definitely a huge help to the Chaos Realm. However, it's just that the guest official slot is very rare, and the two great ancient kingdoms obviously want to cultivate the elites as well. I have a total of 2 slots, and I have used them all. As far as I know, there should not be many vacancies for guest officials in the imperial family of the entire Flame Wind Ancient Kingdom. Di Chu Yu said, especially for the previous heaven-level mission. The first-class lords of the imperial family spared no expense and granted most of the guest official slot. Luo Feng understood. At least for our Di Chu lineage, I haven't heard of anyone who still has a spot. The 12 lineages of the other imperial families might still have spots. I'll check. Di Chu Yu said. The conditions are easy to negotiate. Luo Feng said, even if it's tens of billions of cosmic sands, it's a small matter. Okay, I will look into this matter immediately. Di Chu Yu promised. Di Chu Yu led his personal guards to leave the capital of Chu that day and headed for the Yu capital of the Flame Wind Ancient Kingdom. Yu capital is the ancestral land of Emperor Yu's lineage. The lineage of Emperor Yu and the lineage of Emperor Chu had a very good relationship, and the first-class lords of the two imperial families often interacted with each other. Chu Yu, what is it that you don't directly send a message to say, and still personally come to Yu capital? A man in a purple robe said with a smile. Yu Feng. Di Chu Yu sat opposite him. I know you still have a guest official position. Di Yu Feng looked at the other party, smiled and nodded. Yes, the outside world knows that I only have one guest official. Indeed, there is still an empty slot. There are a lot of people looking for me who want this spot. Many Chaos Realm people are willing to sell themselves to me. Di Yu Feng said. Great Sage Luo He wants this spot. Di Chu Yu said. Great Sage Luo He? Di Yu Feng's heart skipped a beat, then he relaxed. If Great Sage Luo He is willing to be my guest official, I will naturally offer him a place. But he has already been your guest official. He wants a place for other Chaos Realm people, right? Di Chuyu nodded. A newly promoted Chaos Realm, the Law Path. Newly promoted Chaos Realm? Di Yufeng shook his head. There's no need to pay attention to who this Chaos Realm is. The point is, Great Sage Luo, he wants this spot. What conditions? Just mention them. Di Chuyu said, you should know that Great Sage Luo, he will soon become a God King. And he will be a dominant existence. Di Yufeng looked at him and said, so what if he becomes the dominant existence? How can it help the first-class lord of the imperial family? Even as a God King, he cannot participate in the fight between the first-class lord of the imperial family. The competition for the first-class position in the imperial family is all at the Chaos Realm level. If the God King participates, it would be bullying the weak and is forbidden. Just tell me what conditions you want. Di Chuyu said, what I want is to become a God King. Di Yufeng said, I was ranked second in the last heaven-level mission among the Emperor Yu lineage. You should know that a few resources cannot impress me. What I need is a guest official who is wholeheartedly helping me and is powerful enough. If there is no suitable target, I would rather be idle. A free quota is enough to attract a group of Chaos Realm to serve me. Di Yufeng said, without this quota, I'm afraid that group of Chaos Realms will leave 9 times out of 10. Di Chuyu was silent. Brother Chuyu, you should understand that the heaven-level mission has only lasted for 100 epochs, and the imperial family has not produced any new first-class lords. Di Yufeng said, those first-class lords were reluctant to use their quotas in the heaven-level missions. How could they easily give them to the great sage Luo He? After all, there are only 2 spots for first-class lords in a lifetime. Di Yufeng said, not every first-class lord of the imperial family can be lucky enough to choose great sage Luo He as a guest official like you. There's no way? Di Chuyu looked at Di Yufeng. How about this? I will sell this quota for a treasure worth 2 million merits. Don't say I sold it at a high price. Di Yufeng said, of course I also know that great sage Luo He is reluctant to part with so many treasures. 2 million merits are worth about 600 billion cosmic sands. Upon hearing this, Di Chuyu had no choice but to stand up. This offer was too outrageous. In just over 10 days, Di Chuyu of the 7 first-class lords of imperial family, but was rejected by them all. The Chaos Realm outside the 2 ancient kingdoms may still be afraid of the number 1 Chaos Realm and the powerful God King of the future. But for the first-class lord of the imperial family, the guest official God King can't threaten them, nor can he help them. Naturally, he is unwilling to pay attention without sufficient conditions. Several hundred billion cosmic sands may seem like a lot, but before the heaven-level mission, the first-rank imperial family may have only accumulated this much. But now that the heaven-level mission resources have been distributed, the first-class lords of the imperial family have become rich, and there is no big enough temptation to tempt them.